an injustice, whether it's against you or someone you love or someone you believe in, stand up. Don't sit down. Don't sit down on them because they need you.
Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and I'm so happy we got some wonderful guests, and we'll be taking your calls today as we wrap up week 4 of the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard defamation trial. And yesterday was very intense. Looking forward to talking about it with my guests and getting you guys to call in as well with your reactions as to who do you believe? Look, I assume it's going to be a resounding Johnny, but I thought I'd put the call out there. I'd use the hashtag I stand with Amber against my better judgment, but I did it because, hey, call in. Anybody can call in. Let's hear you out. Let's talk about this. If you don't believe her, why? If you do, why? Let's have the conversation. Let's break down some of the revelations from this week. But so happy to have Ann Silvers here. How you doing, Ann?
Great, thanks. Great to be back.
Excuse me. Oh, went down the wrong pipe. If you're unfamiliar with Ann, she's done some fantastic work, articles, and a therapist, etc. A lot of experience on this and DV. And I'm curious to get your thoughts on this testimony from Amber. Also happy to have my friend Louis Lecca on, who you had a wonderful show last night. We both got to talk to a lot of survivors who were reacting. I don't know how to. It's Louis, you got to see some of it too. It's just been stunning, heartbreaking, but also inspiring at the same time. I put out this tweet, guys, just like because I thought I'd get, maybe 100 of you to respond, and it went viral. 24,000 likes already and retweets of all survivors who wanted to share their stories. And I wish I hadn't dropped me a DM because now I'm just drowning in DMs and I can't even get to all you guys, so I feel terrible. But thank you for all the people who have been sending. I can't respond to you all. It's literally my request box is now just a flood, which is both, tragic, but also inspiring to see so many women and men coming forward to express their stories, wanting to share their stories, but also to call out Amber. So to all you people who've reached out, I thank you. I'm sorry I can't get to all of you, but I know some of you have been sharing it in the thread and on your own, so I know you're inspiring many. We had so many call in last night, which just affected me tremendously. And Louis, I know you did as well, correct?
I had a record 20,000 people watched the stream. I'm honored that everybody, and I'm humbled that so many people reached out to me. I'm not an expert, but I tried my best, and I'm happy and sad. I'm happy that we are able to offer a place for people to speak out, and I'm sad that it feels like Amber Heard really, so to speak, took a dump on the entire movement, man. What a shame. What a shame. But we're going to get stronger with that because guess what? With great power comes great responsibility, and I think this is our calling. If you guys want to call in, if we could support somehow, we're here for you to the best of our ability.
Yeah, well, that's the point. I'm going to put the Zoom out so you guys can start getting in the room, and we'll try my best to get through some of your calls. We'll also try to read some of your chats, so I appreciate you guys. Stream elements, super chat element up there. Get your thoughts in there. We'll read as many as we can. But Ann, I want to get your thoughts as people. I'm going to put the Zoom link in a second while I do that. Ann, what was your reaction to the Amber testimony over the past couple days?
So first of all, very hard to watch. It's hard to watch an abuser abuse right there in front of you, because this is more abuse of Johnny. This is just the continuation of her defamation of her target. So it's hard to watch, and then it's hard to watch because she is such a bad actress. and she's acting and she's being just so flamboyant about it and so histrionic. It's the perfect demonstration of Dr. Curry's diagnoses of her. So she diagnosed her with borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. And histrionic people are hysteria. They're over the top. And Amber just can't even control herself from creating this caricature of an abused woman. And Dr. Curry talked about the histrionic personality. They position themselves as the princess or the victim. And you see in Amber's testimony, she bounces back and forth between them. So she's got all this flowery language, which is typical of histrionic, around describing how Johnny was so in love with her and how he proposed to her and what this mansion they had their engagement party in, and it doesn't seem to serve any typical purpose that you would expect in an abused person's testimony, but it certainly fits the princess and the victim. So she's princess, and then she turns on the victim role, but it's all artificial.
Yeah, it was wild because were there any other tells you could sort of tell just from, I'm sure you listen to through your clients, etc., where you could usually start telling when someone's not being truthful to you, I imagine, through your experience. Yes. Were there any moments in this testimony where you just were like, come on, that's not working?
Well, the whole thing. It's hard to pick a moment.
But more specifically?
Well, first of all, this is 2016 is when they split up. So we're at 8 years later. Is that where we're at? Do I do the math right? No, 6 years. We're 6 years later, and she's still so emotional, so dramatic about everything. You wouldn't expect that. You wouldn't expect that amount of emotion. You'd expect something more like what Johnny showed. So for the most part, he's been able to control and express himself. He got weepy when he had to hear back
to impeach, but still
his trauma. So she's so over the top 6 years later, and that's one of them. And then this the fake tears, the fake crying, where she can't even conjure up tears, and then the second day she's caught herself that recognizing that, I should try and have some tears with this. So it seems that maybe she brought the tissues out and she kept wiping away on her cheeks, but there didn't seem to be any tears there. And so the fakeness is there. But I worry that the jury can be like the bulk of people, conditioned that women get abused by men and conditioned that men don't abuse women. Or if they do, it's their own fault.
Right. Yeah, that's going to be a tragedy if that happens, and I hope it doesn't. It does seem like most people are seeing the truth, right? They're seeing it play out. They're seeing the performance. But I guess it only takes a few people on that trial to sort of shame the others, right? If they believe the woman, it's going to be very hard to go fight against that and sit there all and argue about it. So I don't know. At the same time, one person could be there. No, I don't believe her. I'm not doing it. So it's going to be an interesting back and forth, and it might be more harder than they think, or it won't. And gets the verdict she doesn't want, and that would be very, very, very fulfilling. So are you surprised? Were you? Because the one thing we talked about last night that I really noticed, which I liked, was Camille Vasquez just completely getting under her skin. And I think, not in a mean way, but just clearly setting the tone. She's been there, very affectionate to Johnny throughout the whole trial, arm on him, rubbing his back, and she's beautiful. It does seem like that's something that could really get, unnerve Amber. Do you get that vibe? And did you sense Camille already starting the cross even while she was beginning to speak?
I've seen that on Twitter, and I support that idea. I didn't really pay attention to it myself. I think what I noticed more is Johnny's team letting her run for the most part, because her stories are so elaborate and extravagant in the lies that it gives them more to come back on her with.
Interesting. First of all, just a couple quick chats. I want to make sure I support. I see Oracle Light says, "Can you believe they used the lines from Matt Talon, Mr. Ripley? They did not. I want to debunk this. It's time to debunk this one. They did not do it. So many of you keep sending me. It's annoying. They didn't. Now, is she borrowing elements of that movie? Maybe in other movies, absolutely. But there's a meme that's going around where they show the line that Amber said and the lines from the movie. Show me the clips. They don't exist because she didn't actually say that line, and that line's not even in the movie. So someone on TikTok or something just made some crap up, and now all you guys have been forwarding it to me. Stop sending it to me. It's not true. So please help me spread the word because it's an annoying one. But no offense to you, a lot of people are getting misinformed by that one, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, we don't need that. We're gonna win with the truth.
Correct. I hate when we get the misinformation out there. And I know as a channel I like, Mr. H, he put it out there, and to his credit, he deleted it because he realized he didn't have all the information on it correctly. And so I good on him for doing that. So I saw that chat, and I wanted to make sure I did comment that. There was a couple others quickly from last. I don't know how to Zoom really. I'm glad you're all doing this. Wish I could share my story because it's a chain of abuse. Bottom line, hurt people. I hope Amber gets help and Johnny wins. Well said, and I'm sorry you had to go through that. So many of you guys were speaking up, and I'm sorry I couldn't get to everybody. But thank you guys for speaking up and call in. I see some of you in here. We'll get to you. Mark and Milana also, hey, we've messaged you on Instagram, and now we would like to contribute as a sign of our gratitude. An amazing job you guys are doing. Thank you, Mark and Milana. Appreciate you both. And I saw a couple more that just came in just now. Temp, what's good to see you, Temp. Hey, Andy. Hey, Lewis. Hey, bro. Everyone, much love. Thank you so much, Lumena. Love you, Andy, and the whole group. Thank you for supporting victims, of course. And then Miss Ashley. Hey, Andy, I was watching your previous videos and listening to audio clip when Amber was stamping her feet. And remember Amber saying she stepped on glass. Wouldn't stomping your feet hurt? Yes, after cutting them on glass? You'd think so. That Australia audio, which we just posted, which thanks to Brian, that Brian fellow, who I've been texting with. I was trying to get him on, but he's traveling today. But I was like, can I use part of your video that you put together because I want to get it out today? He's like, of course. Watch the full video over on that Brian's channel because it's really damning. Now, seeing Amber's testimony, I don't know if you have heard the Australia audio, Anne, but hearing her testimony yesterday with that horrific story with the wine bottle, etc., there's audio tape that she recorded after that incident with Johnny with his finger. And the doctors and everyone come in and are engaging, and no one tends to her. And if she had been through that kind of trauma and experience, I'm sorry, someone would have said something. Even if they were pro Johnny and they were covering up for Johnny, they didn't know they were on camera, tape recorder. Somebody would have been like, "Did you Johnny? Oh, I can't believe Johnny did it again." Or oh, I think Johnny did that. Nothing. Instead, it's all she feels guilt. She did it. We got to get her out of here. Hearing the story you heard, Anne, would you expect that all the doctors and nurses would have come in and just covered for Johnny and avoided and ignored the kind of abuse that she detailed?
Oh, there's no way. There's no way that her extravagant story fits with the everything that happened afterwards. There's no, she documents all this stuff, but she never documents Johnny attacking her. She doesn't she took pictures of 2 mirrors that day with the writing on it. Some of it was hers, and she's trying to say it's not. And I hope that they'll bring in a handwriting expert who will show that some of that writing on the mirrors is hers. But it just doesn't, she could have taken pictures of all these injuries that she supposedly had. She took pictures of the mirrors, but there's no pictures of her injuries that day. And then what she does put forward is there's this picture she puts forward where she's got like 2 very light, very straight scars on her arm that would, again, not have come from this jagged glass that was supposedly everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that doesn't make sense from her story, and I just can't. Johnny's team has made a statement, by the way. I wanted to make sure I did read that. I don't think I got to read that on the last video, but so in response, there's 2 statements. As Mr. Depp's counsel correctly predicted in their opening statements last month, Miss Heard did indeed deliver the performance of her life in her direct examination. While Miss Heard's stories have continued to grow new and convenient details, Mr. Depp's recollections have remained exactly the same throughout the 6 painful years since her first allegations were made. His truth, the truth, is the same no matter the environment in which it has been presented. The upcoming cross-examination for Mr. Depp's team will be most telling and will certainly highlight the many fallacies Miss Heard has now attempted to pass off as fact throughout her convoluted testimony. Respectful, nice, but here's Heard's response. As evidenced by the statement just released, Mr. Depp's defamation claim is falling apart so rapidly that his counsel are turning from prosecutor to persecutor. They boast that Mr. Depp's story has not changed. If so, since he lost the DV restraining order and he resoundingly lost the libel case in the UK, perhaps he should consider a new strategy rather than recycled approach of attacking the victim and refusing to take responsibility for his own conduct. Oh, my God.
So let's stop there for a minute on this. Her calling him out as attacking the victim. Well, she is attacking the victim.
Yeah. Good. Well said. Well said. This idea that and that's the most telling thing for me. She won't take any accountability. The one moment she shares, well, I did it the first time I did it. Bullshit. You're a lot. Come on. If she had come out and been like, yes, it was so volatile and I punched back sometimes just because I couldn't handle. If she had just owned it and attempted to lie a little bit, but then own some of it, right, and take some responsibility, I would have been more worried, right? Because then she could have tried to justify it. But the fact that she's trying to play this innocent person after we have these tapes to listen to her, how she never leaves and always pushing him and prodding him, that's not the sound of somebody that she's presenting. You know what I mean? It's the complete opposite of what it is, and why I have such a tough time believing her. Do you know what I mean?
Well, and what you're speaking to is exactly how she won over the marriage counselor and the psychologist that, it wasn't hard to win over the psychologist that did her evaluation, unlike Dr. Curry, who I feel like did a legitimate evaluation. So what she did with those psychologists, not Dr. Curry, but with those psychologists, we call
her Dr. Huge Liar, but go ahead.
And by the way, I'm working on a transcript of Dr. Hughes's testimony, and I'll have that blog post done in the next couple of days.
Oh, good.
But so what we see in that she did with the marriage counselor and Dr. Hughes is admit to something, supposedly admit to hitting him once in a while, but she flavors it and gets those counselors to flavor it with, but he deserved it. I did it because he instigated.
Right.
It always went back to Johnny's the one at fault. And but that giving a little bit, I think, is how she won over the marriage counselor. Because then the marriage counselor thinks, well, she's being truthful because she's admitting sometimes she hit him and sometimes she started it. But the whole rest of what Amber is saying is lies.
Yeah, it was so weird because it just felt like she was just making excuses for it. And then when they did the cross, they did sort of bring up a few examples. The fact that Amber has been arrested for DV, which happened. She could have thrown out the charges still, but it happened. But then she's like, well, she could have never experienced it. And then at the end, when they were like, someone leaving the argument, that's not, there were moments where the cross was really hammering, I felt, Dr. Hughes. And she clearly was up against the wall. Well, if that happened, it would be bad, but we know it happened. So it's weird. She's dying on that hill. I'll never understand it. I don't think that's going to help her in the long run. I mean, I guess if Amber somehow miraculously pulls a win out, it will, and that'll just be such a travesty for so many reasons. I do want to plug you. You can go to AnnSilvers.com. No E on the Ann. AnnSilvers.com. You can get a lot of her articles as well as learn more about her books, etc. Always appreciate you being here. Let's wrap up the statement, though. So he refuses to take responsibility for his own conduct. If Mr. Depp was truly innocent, why has he repeatedly apologized to Miss Heard and promised to put the monster away for good? Well, because he's placating her, and because she apologizes too. I just heard an audio tape after the finger incident where she's apologizing. My God, the way the PR just picks and chooses what they want to say. Heard's spokesman said, adding that one of Heard's disappointments is the Pirates of the Caribbean's actors' inability to distinguish fact from fiction, a malady which appears to have spread to his legal team. Oh yeah. At least they know how to be a legal team. My God, how many times has Elaine just messed up? And at the end, the judge was schooling her again on math when they were trying to give them the hours. It was hilarious. The same team is so panicked that they are fighting tooth and nail to prevent compelling evidence and photos from being introduced. Oh, they're not doing that too. Like Amber doesn't want certain Elon Musk and James Franco and certain Texan. God. Small wonder Mr. Depp does not have the fortitude or courage to even look at Miss Heard throughout the proceedings, as he could not in the UK trial, and instead he doodles and snickers. Again,
let's
attack,
stop there.
attack.
Let's talk about that. Is that okay?
Get him, man. Get him, man.
Okay. So this is, so an abused person does not want to have to be even in the same room with their abuser, let alone be looking at them. And the fact that she keeps, and people have noticed this, that Amber keeps looking at Johnny, and Johnny doesn't look at her. And that's
such a tell.
Johnny's reaction is way more typical of an abused person. And then I think also he doesn't want to give her, he doesn't want it for himself. He doesn't want to have to look at her. And I think there's some quote of him saying, "I never want to have to look her in the eye again."
Correct. After a text from a divorce where he's like, "I will never give her that again."
We know how he feels. We don't either.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to have to listen to her or look at her while she's lying. Yeah.
And I wanted to back you up as well, because you spoke about that she has no tears. Well, I have an 80-inch high-definition television, and I'm watching the trial, and she's rubbing her cheek. I'm like, what is she rubbing? Like, it's really ridiculous. As most people are watching on a small, screen, but when you watch that on a big screen, it gets even worse. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Good. I'm glad you could tell, because I was viewing it on a relatively small screen, and I kept thinking, I don't think there's tears there. So
there weren't. I looked. There's one photo I saw in Business Insider where it really looks like they photoshopped like something to make it seem like there might be one, but I was looking close. Her whole face was dry, and I don't buy it. Not buying it. Anyway, they continue.
Yeah.
Instead, he doodles and snickers. Mr. Depp's behavior in this trial has been as pitiful as it was in their marriage. Apparently, they feel they must double down on their demonstrably losing two-part strategy, distract the jury, and demonize the victim. Oh my God, I hate these lawyers. She's a victim just because she says it, guys. They're not distracting.
Yeah, and a lot of what Amber has ever said and continues to say, we can look at that and see it as projection. That what she says Johnny's done bad is actually what she's done bad. Mm-hmm. And we see it again. She's trying to distract the jury with these elaborate stories, and she's demonizing the victim with all this talk about alcohol and throwing every possibility of throwing Marilyn Manson into the conversation. Amber threw Marilyn Manson into her rape story by saying Marilyn Manson music was playing in the background.
It was such a scripted, weird thing, right? She's like, I could hear after all. I heard Marilyn, and he was just listening to Marilyn Manson as if that was like devil's music. Like, of course, he's listening to a fellow accused person, right? It was sickening. All the little specifics she kept choosing to weave in there in this. Wait, I don't know. We heard a lot of stories last night, Anne, from survivors, and I know I can't generalize all, but there was just a real emotion and hesitancy and fear and sadness that you can just tell when someone's being genuine about such a traumatic, serious thing. And everything she did just felt calculated, fake, practiced. I don't know what planet she thinks she's on, but it does seem like the majority of people are feeling it too. Now, what's frustrating is not everyone's sitting and watching as in depth as we all are. They're getting little bits and pieces from news or headlines, and that's what I'm more worried about, of people who haven't really digested in this whole thing to unpack it all to really understand why she would do such a thing. Because who would do such a thing? Such extreme allegations. Who in their right mind could ever go that far with the lie? But she's doing it. And do you think that's just her feeling like she has to? She's doubled down so much that she has no choice?
What happens with these very practiced liars, these personalities that lying is their shtick, their lies tend to get more and more extravagant because they get believers, and that feeds them. And this is actually what sometimes trips them up, is that their lies get more and more extravagant. So people who maybe believed them earlier, when the lies get more extravagant, they're like, well, no, this is not making any sense now.
Interesting. Well, yeah, that was the end of the statements. But of course, it annoyed me that Amber's team got to respond second. But I guess Johnny clearly wanted to put something out there to respond, and then they were very quick to jump on it. But yeah, here's as close to tears as came in from Miss Heard, and yeah, I'm not seeing it. There was a theory. Sorry, one more. My cough is almost gone. There was a theory. I won't say from where, but someone reputable, makeup person, etc. Their theory was, and this is someone who knew Amber. I will say, and I'm trying to get more of an exclusive interview for you guys. 1,000,000% sure she put menthol on her tissue today. I told my mom yesterday she would. Actors use this to water their eyes. She snorted it, and she still had no tears. She's literally dead inside.
This is interesting. Yep.
And I read that, I was like, damn, that I don't know, that could be what it was. Everyone's thinking drugs, but no, it was probably something to try and get her to cry, and she still couldn't cry. Just shocking to me, because you could easily sneak that in. You have it in your tissue, it's there. She definitely did she inhaled something. Yeah. There was no ifs, ands, or about it. If you have a runny nose, you don't inhale, you exhale, push out, you're a mess, and there's snot, and you'd have to throw away the tissue. You don't keep the same tissue also. So she's just so bad at all this, she doesn't even realize how bad she looks. It's gross. Anyway, Lewis, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I think one of the worst things about this as well, that people are not talking about that much, and I'll bring it up, is that she's so sloppy at her stuff. Looking at the camera people posing for pictures as she blows her nose, it's so obvious it's coming from a mile away. She doesn't care. It's almost like she doesn't care if she gets caught lying. That's the worst part. No effort. Like, at least give an effort, like, to BS, There's like no question she's full of it. She posed for a picture yesterday while holding, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my eyes. I spent like an hour looping that video. I was like, she literally was wiping her no tears, right? She looks to the left, sees a camera, and goes back to it and pauses for like 3 seconds, dude. It was so ridiculous.
Notice the position of this tissue never changes, so she didn't get it from there. Yeah. I think it's possibly rolled up in her sleeve. Keep watching.
Yeah, that's something different, but she does actually pose for a picture with while blowing her nose.
Notice how she carefully rolls this one up and then stuffs it in her sweater.
Everything's
and that one she just shoves in there. That one she carefully rolls and tucks. This one she just kind of like shoves in there. Not as careful, not as pretty. Okay, here we are at 1 hour 37 minutes 23 seconds. Tissue still in the same position. Okay. Let's just fast forward through all of this till we get to that
TikTok
point.
Detectives. Sometimes they're annoying, sometimes they're spot on.
Okay, notice the tissue is still in the same position, but she's now looking down at her lap. What is she doing? Girl, I don't even know.
Someone said it's an onion. There you go.
Tissue still in the same position.
The fact that she didn't just grab a couple tissues is so also how bad she is at this. Props to the headphone lady.
The headphone lady's classic.
Now, it's still, the tissue is still in the same position. 1 hour, 46 minutes. Still there. Then I notice she's just sitting nice and calm, just listening. Then she grabs something, I'm assuming from her sleeve.
Wow. Oh, and there she did it. She just...
And she doesn't care
She
to
wasn't
get
sniffing
caught.
before. Why did she need the tissue? She wasn't sniffing before she got the tissue. And once she got the tissue, then she started sniffing. Okay. Okay, here we go again. So no sniffles. None. No sniffling. Nothing. No sniffles. Tissue. Holds it.
Did you have communications with
Sniff, sniff.
Depp about auditioning for another role in this time?
And then watch when she stands up. That sleeve that she tucked in is magically unrolled. This one is still shoved in there like it was. But this one, look, it's unrolled. Did you see that? Okay, let's watch it again. She stands up.
It's pretty good detective work. This is pretty good. I gotta say.
You can see how it's unrolled. So let's go back to the beginning.
Here's
Here's the beginning where she intentionally rolls that thing about 5 or 6 times and tucks it really good in there. Don't believe me? Watch it yourself. I think I figured out exactly where shoved in there like it was.
Did she shove it? The shove in is the only thing I don't
see. You can see how it's unrolled. So let's go back to the beginning.
She shoved
it in
the beginning
where she intentionally rolls that thing about 5 or 6 times and tucks it. Position of this tissue never changes, so she didn't get it from there. I think it's possibly rolled up in her sleeve. Keep watching.
Interesting. Well, I don't know about the sleeve thing, but for sure, it's an interesting theory. But the fact that it came out of nowhere and the tissues didn't move, that is very telling. And the fact that it was probably something like menthol or something to try to make her cry. Oh, this woman is awful.
Did you see Amber poses for pictures?
Yes, we posted that one last night. But
okay,
yeah,
that was insane. Yeah, that wasn't.
And then Andy, that picture you had with her thumb to her finger to her eye, kind of stuff. Was that the one that People Magazine ran with?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that People Magazine?
Yes.
Yeah, they're on her side. They've been promoting her stuff since 2016. They're the ones that ran with her pictures in her original accusation against Johnny.
Yeah, it makes sense. They'll support her, and then if she loses, they just won't say in it. That's usually what happens. Yeah. They support, and then when they're wrong, they just when I experienced that firsthand. When they're wrong, they don't want to retract or really make a big stink about it because they don't like to have egg on their face. Yeah, that yikes. Pretty gross. All right, we're going to take some calls. I'm going to get to that now. Ann, you want to stick around for some more? Do you have to get out of here? Okay, let's open up this phone line because I saw a lot of you were patiently waiting. I'm going to pick, I just randomly picked Chris. Chris is joining the party line. Excuse me. As we wait for that, there was a couple chats I want to make sure I got to. Oh my gosh, how did I miss this? Maria T. My goodness, Tisamakos. Amber's only chance at redemption now is to admit she lied and only realized how sick she is after Dr. Curry described her to seek treatment for BPD and advocate for PDs. I'm a psych. Maria, my goodness. Well, thank you so much for that generous donation. Incredibly generous of you. Hit me up. We always love getting some more psychologist opinions on the show. So reach out to me. My DMs are pretty, I don't mean to say that, but try to reach out to me. It's pretty hard. Hit me up on Telegram if you have that, but don't spam me and just send me things. You specifically, Maria, you can hit me up there and I'll try and connect you because I always love experts, and thank you for that generosity. Did the caller get in? Hello, Chris, are you there? Chris has got to get their audio on. Okay, while we wait for Chris to figure out if they're getting their audio on, we're going to try River. River or Chris. See if either of you can get your audio working while we wait for that to happen. I saw Mandy. Thank you for your comment. I'm not strong enough to call in, but as a victim, her testimony broke me. My depression has been very bad the past 2 days, and I don't know why this has been so triggering for me. It's been helpful to hear. I'm not the only one affecting this way. Thank you, Andy. Well, thank you, Mandy. I'm sorry you're struggling, and I'm sorry Amber's making that happen. But no, we got your back. Thank you for being brave and sharing even just what you just shared. Jane, if smart, that tissue would have dipped in pepper spray to cause tears. Yeah, menthol. There's a lot of things. Onion, it's true. A lot of things she could have tried to put up there but still, when you think you'd make a, I don't know.
She didn't want to ruin her makeup though. She wanted us to look good. She doesn't care.
Potentially
she doesn't care.
True.
It's very sloppy.
River, are you there, River?
Yeah. I'm here.
Hello, welcome to the show. What can we do for you?
Well, I am a warrior, as I'd like to say, of domestic violence. And I thought I was going to be okay watching this testimony, and I was fine until she got up there because it triggered me, and I haven't been okay the past couple days. It bothers me the most that she still thinks in her head that she's going to get away with it and continues to lie and continues to change her story. You don't change your story that many times when it happens to you, believe me. I know my story. I feel my story. I'm shaking right now, even talking to you, because it's hard to relive it watching through someone else, especially when they're lying, because it's like a slap in the face. It is. It's a slap in the face. And I do want to point out, and I don't know if you can say it on here, I would like people to share the 1-800 number for domestic violence hotline. If anyone is in this situation, you can get help. There is help for you. You can be anonymous if you don't want your name out there. But I think it's very important for people that are going through this right now, who've been watching this trial. There is hope for you, and leave. Do not stay. Do not stay, because there is somewhere you can go. There is. You know, I didn't have a place to go. I had nowhere to go. I had no family I could go with, you know, that would take me and my kids in. And I ended up finding a shelter, you know, that was going to offer for me to go in there. And then he ended up almost killing me, beating me, almost killing me, and went to prison. And he got out of prison and stalked me. And it's just that continuous cycle of abuse that people need. Just get out now. You know, because I know there's people watching that are in abusive situations right now, men and women, and they need to know that there is help out there. And I wanted to say the number, but I didn't know if I could or not.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I have the hotline.org. You can go to 1-800-799-SAFE is the number, or 7233, 1-800-799-7233. You can also chat with them on the website. You can text START to 88788. And if you're worried or need to be anonymous, it's not working, you can always make sure you also just delete the calls you've done on your phone just in case while you're calling them. But there's a lot of ways to make sure you can call anonymously and talk to somebody who can hopefully help you. They keep it confidential. They're available 24/7. Lots of venues there to help you get connected in whatever town you are in. So thank you. Very, very grateful you reminded me to show that, River, and thank you for sharing that story. It's really disheartening to see what Amber has done with this, because I want to believe her. You know what I mean? Like I feel terrible that I can't, you know, but we got to hear all sides, and we got to play the evidence, and it's very clear she's lying. She's lying in multiple areas, and her performance isn't believable. And what she's doing for victims right now to try to beat Johnny is sickening. It's sickening, and we got to call it out. And we got to remind survivors, warriors, as you called it, even more eloquently. Don't be afraid. Stand up. You can get your help. Don't let Amber ruin this. We have to, you know, that's why I want to use this platform now. And I'm seeing this. It's just gotten me so depressed. Let's stand back up. Let's fight back. Let's be loud, and let's help each other. So to all you people standing up out there, sharing your stories, including you, River, bravo. I'm inspired by you.
I'm praying for people out there that I know are watching. And I appreciate you very much for putting this out there and doing what you do, because it takes a lot of your time, and I appreciate it. And I had to turn it off yesterday. I had to turn it off. I'm a cancer patient, and I'm going through a lot of health issues, and I had to turn it off because I started having a panic attack, and I don't want it to set me back, but I know that the voices need to be heard. You know what I mean? The voice needs to be heard, and I support Johnny 100%. And the reason he's not looking up, I did this in court. The reason he's not looking up and he's doodling is because he is trying to not traumatize himself any more than he's already been. Because when she's standing up there and she's doing that, she's re-traumatizing him. And I think it's bullcrap, honestly. I do. I think it's bullcrap.
Yeah, she's a bully. It's what she's doing, and no doubt about it. And she
River,
wants.
you are awesome.
She wants to, she wants to make that eye contact again. She wants to keep abusing him. And did I get you? Does this one hurt? It's so clear. Lewis, go ahead. You were saying.
Well, I was saying that River is awesome, and Amber Heard, you've awakened a sleeping giant, and it's a force from now on to fear. You're an abuser. We're coming to get you. We're giving you a voice, a platform. And also that statement that he's not looking up proves that what we've known. He tries to walk away from conflict, and she's the aggressor trying to, like, why are you walking away? That's what you do. He's not looking you in the eye. He's walking away, and you're trying to fight him anyways. He's turning the other cheek, so to speak. He doesn't want to look at you, man. We don't want to look at you, Amber. You know, what do you want?
Exactly. Exactly. And
But
people
the
might
sleeping
take it
giant
in
for
different
long.
ways. People might take it in different ways, but the reason why he's doing what he's doing is because of that reason right there. And it might be intentional, it might be non-intentional. You know, someone might have told his therapist, somebody he's seeing might have told him. But I can tell you, I had to be carried out of court from my abuser. And he held me down and burnt me with a cigarette in my arm one time during a attack from him. And when I heard that testimony from him that happened to him, I started bawling because I know exactly. And for her to get up there and say that he did it himself, there is no way. When you burn yourself, you go like this, you go like that. And why would he hurt his pretty face anyway? He would not hurt his face. He'd burn himself somewhere else. Come on now, you're lying. You know, you're just straight up lying. And I just hope everybody out there understands that when people tell their story, they're not trying to get attention. They're telling their story because they feel the pain that they went through and they're sympathizing. But you cannot sympathize with an abuser that is up on the stand lying the way that she is. And I hope she has her bodyguards and protection with her, because I'm scared something's going to happen to her. I don't wish ill will on anybody, but I think that something, you know what I mean? Like she can't go around saying stuff like that, especially under oath. God's watching. God is watching. If someone doesn't, do anything, God is watching, and I wouldn't be able to live with myself. I don't know how she's even doing it. I really don't.
Well, she's the devil. It's why.
Right.
I think that's what I think. Well, River, you're amazing. You're beautiful. Thank you so much. Sending you so much
you.
love, light, positivity.
So before
Thank you for
River's
sharing.
gone,
Yeah, go Ann.
I just feel like I have to acknowledge, River, I want to acknowledge what you've been through and express my sympathy for both the original trauma that you went through and then this re-traumatization that you're experiencing.
Yeah.
And I call on women like you who have been abused by a man to take that understanding of what it's like to be the victim and generalize that understanding so that it's not only seeing that males can be the abuser, but taking that same empathy like you are now with Johnny, and Johnny's story, I think, is helping people. I long for the day when more women who have been the target of abuse will be able to generalize that sympathy, not just to women who are abused, but all men who are abused. Because those men are being marginalized.
100%. And they're not believed. They're not believed like women are, and it's sad. And this is bigger than I think this trial is for. I think in this, I've learned some more triggers that I have. I didn't realize that I would be so triggered, and it's going to help me move forward, I feel, because it's making me realize a lot more that I am not as healed as I thought that I was.
Mm-hmm. So it's giving you some opportunity to expel some more trauma. I hope you have some time in the next few days to be able to do some journaling, having somebody hold you and be able to process more of that stuff through.
Yes, ma'am. That's what's going on. I've been in my room, and I went through the woods the other day, and I just stood there and breathed in the air and looked at the clouds and looked at the river. And I do have to say one thing. My name is actually Jessica, and I wasn't going to say my real name because I didn't want my abuser to find me on here somehow, because I'm pretty scared of him still because he's out of prison now. And but you know what? I'm just going to say my name. My name is Jessica. I go by River on here, but I'm just going to say my name because you know what?
There's 12,000 people here. You mess with River or Jessica, we got your back. Okay?
Yeah, I was going to say, anybody comes after Jessica or River, you're coming after all of us.
Yeah, an attack on her is an attack on all. Let's go.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh my
I appreciate that.
Wow, I'm even more inspired. Bravo to you. I mean, that's big, right, Ann? Like that, what she just did. That's a huge sign of her growth and where she's headed.
Yeah. And I want to say too that Johnny's story has it is I feel it's a watershed moment. The men that I work with, that I've been working with for like been a part of a decade, who are abused. This last year is the first time I ever had a man say, I want to go public with my story. Before that, they were always too afraid that they wouldn't be heard, and it would just be worse for them. Yeah.
You reach out to us if something happens, River. You reach out to us.
Reach out to you?
If something happens, you email us, get in contact with us. Okay?
Okay.
Enough's
I will
enough.
do that.
All right.
Thank you, Jessica. Wonderful to meet you. We love you. Sending again so much love your way.
Thank
and
you.
stay strong.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank you.
Enjoy your day. And look who joined us, Steph, the altar nerd. Hey, Steph.
Hey up, everyone. How do?
Sorry, I
We
didn't
do
see you.
well when we see
doing
you.
well. Good to have you here. It gets intense here sometimes. We've opened up the line just because Amber, I think, has inspired so many warriors, as someone just called it, to want to share their stories. And every time I hear it, I believe Amber even less because you hear real, genuine emotion from these people who've really been through something, and you just start seeing how fake and just, disingenuous Amber is. So how are you feeling about parts of day 2 that you saw? I know you didn't watch all of it, but any comments you have, Steph, since you just joined?
For fear of being like a broken record, I don't believe her. I really don't. When you speak of something that's happened to you like that, whether that's DV, SA, or both, again, it's a visceral emotion that comes out of you, and it's something that you cannot control. You are going to cry. Your face, you can't control it. You can't control the contortions of your face. It's going to be screwed up a heck of a lot more. But when she's on that stand, I'm sorry, even without, because some people are saying, it may be that she's not crying any tears because of the Botox or something along those lines. Okay, fine. Even if you took that into account, her whole, in terms of facial features, is still too damn controlled. It is very, very taut. It's very, very rigid and very structured. It's not breaking down. It's not out of control. Her mouth in particular is very like that. I can't explain it anything more than she's not a mess. She's just not facially a mess. Guys, I mean, I'm open about what I've been through, but when I talk about it every single time, it gets easier, but I'm still in tears. My face is still a mess. It's just the emotion comes out, and you feel it, right? Here, I feel nothing, but in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, she is a fucking lying bitch. And there's a special place in hell for people that lie that SA or DV or both has happened to them, because again, it makes it harder for us real DV SA survivors to actually get the justice from our monsters that we deserve. And it makes me immensely angry in terms of what she's doing right now. And I just hope that the jury sees right through her. Because she's like, at one point she was like posing for camera as well with tissue and everything. Like, the frick are you right now, woman? What the deuce? And she's looking at the jury, and she's smirking and she's smiling at times. I'm sorry, but when I'm telling you guys what happened to me, the truth, I ain't freaking smirking. I ain't freaking smiling. And when I do tell the truth as to what's happened to me, I don't then compose myself in like 2 seconds flat and all of a sudden return back to normal and be like, oh, well, then on this day we went to Australia with our 2 dogs, this, that, and the other. After then I turn around and, let's say, according to Amber, just for argument's sake, Johnny Depp basically did something to me with a freaking wine bottle. it'd take me more than a freaking minute to then compose myself and then go back to, okay, and then this is what happened, and then this is what happened, and this is what happened. Nah. It just, her testimony just doesn't jive with me. As a real unfortunate member of the survivorship community, there's just something wrong with that picture altogether, and she's, my opinion, evil for doing this. But yeah,
there you go.
Hi everyone.
Steph rant.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point in that her fake crying is too consistent.
Yeah,
there isn't an ebb and flow.
No,
it happened naturally. And somebody else brought up on Twitter, there isn't any cracking to her voice. There's nothing going on in her voice that would be what you get with genuine crying.
Yeah, it goes back to what I say. It's too damn controlled, and it's way too damn controlled for a real person of the survivorship community. We're not that controlled when we're talking about the truth as what's happened. No matter, I mean, what happened to me happened like nearly 30 years ago now. And even to this day, when I tell the truth of what happened, it's still raw and it still gets to me. And I just, not as much of a mess as I used to be, but there's still a mess going on my face. For her, there's nothing. It's like she is putting on an act, in my opinion, and nothing is. It don't feel natural.
Yeah.
It doesn't. And her crying, even when she is quote unquote crying or upset, again, it's look at the eyebrows and look at her mouth in particular, in my opinion. The two, what's the word, taut? It's more angry crying rather than like sad crying. When I look at her facial features, she's like,
I got it down, Steph.
Go on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go here, and then you yell objection as soon as I start. Okay?
Objection! Speculation!
Objection, hearsay.
She's like,
Objection! Speculation!
Objection, hearsay.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, because as soon as, you're right, Lewis, as soon as Johnny's side says objection, she's a lying son of a bitch kind of thing, it's like, yeah, but you're right. All of a sudden, she automatically stops.
And looks at the judge.
And she's like, do I continue with this or not?
Yeah, like she's looking for the director to tell her what to do. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, as well, it's like when I'm telling, again, the truth of what happened to me, it's like I kind of go into like a tunnel vision and I'm not really aware of much around me, because it's like when I tell the truth of what happened, I'm putting myself mentally and physically in a way back to what happened to me back then. And so I'm not as I am aware of my surroundings, but I'm not as acutely aware of my surroundings as normal, because my mind is elsewhere and I'm transported back to what happened to me. But her reflexes, as soon as objection comes up, it's like a nanosecond. I'm sorry, but I don't snap out of it in a nano-freaking second. I'll tell you that now. It's just all off.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point, because what's not happening is she is not being transitioned back to the original experience, because it isn't an original. It didn't happen. So she's not having that transported back. Yeah.
Exactly. And this is why I say, and at the end of the day, I only speak for myself. I don't speak for the whole of the survivorship community. I don't dare to, don't get me wrong. But for me, it's just like, I don't see her as like a comrade of the survivorship community. I just don't. Because there are, in my opinion, certain markers that indicate who are the true members of the survivorship community and who aren't, and who are faking it. And the true members of the survivorship community, the emotion that we give when we tell the truth, how we act, what we say, right, when we say the truth as to what happened. To me, I've learned that there are certain markers that kind of indicate the true members of the survivorship community to those that are fake, if that makes sense. Because we kind of have, unfortunately, something in common, which is something evil has happened to us, and there's degree and levels of evil of what's happened to us, and that's fair enough. But when we tell the truth as to what's happened, there are certain things that we all do when we tell the truth as to what happened. She's not doing that. Her face is not a mess. She's not crying. The words that she's saying as well, it's like Andy.
Yes, Steph. It's like you don't believe her.
Yeah, but no.
To
Think about
answer
it
the
this
title
way.
on our.
What was it now? I can't remember that hit piece. Michael Jackson.
Leaving Neverland.
That's it. When you hear what's coming out of Safechuck and Robson's gob, right, in terms of how they describe what happened to them, right, I'll tell you something. Unless we're in court and we have to go into that kind of element of detail, potentially, we don't do that. And she's going into an element of detail here, which, I don't know, it just don't make sense. Like, she doesn't know whether the bottle was broken or not.
Well,
that kind of comment, it's like, I'm sorry, I'd know.
Right, and it's like, would you really want to even say it out loud anyway? Like, what this whole her need to prove him wrong is so clear and evident that it almost feels like she shouldn't want to tell this story. You know what I mean? Like, she's been pushed against the wall to tell this story. The only reason she's trying to tell the story is because people don't believe her. It's not like she sued him, right? That's what's really telling, I think, about this, is that she's having to reveal this by being pressed by him to say, well, it didn't happen. You're a liar. And so it's like, it's I can't think, actually, I've never really considered it that way. Like, I can't think of another situation where usually it's the other way around, right? You did this to me. I can't believe you. Why isn't she suing him, right? It's like, she should be suing him. And so the fact that she's had to, like, do all this to defend herself, and when I put it that way, it makes me even more frustrated because, you know, that just goes to show how insane down this path she is. Because if this really happened to her, she should have been the one going after him, and she didn't. She went after money. She wanted money. She wanted multiple and more money throughout this whole thing, and she doesn't even bring up the post-nup argument pre all some of these fights. She glosses over that like that wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
Bullshit. So the lawyer accountant guy's lying. Dude, he's literally like numbers. I remember everything. Numbers. There's no way he's like building something like that stupid Dr. Huge Liar. I just don't buy it. So she's trying to expect everybody on that side has made this whole big elaborate sneaky plan, and nothing that Amber was doing in these crazy demands and frustrations didn't exist. I mean, it's hard to hear any other side at this point. Answering the thumbnail and title of this question, which can full wrap around. So good job, Steph. But at the end of the day, yeah, it sounds like, Steph, you think Johnny's telling the truth and not Amber.
Yeah, I mean, what I was trying to explain quite ineloquently, but I've got it in my head now, is that where Robson and Safechuck, in my opinion, really over-exaggerated to the point where now I look back and I think, yeah, shit, they're liars, in my opinion. Amber, I think, is doing the same thing. She's over-exaggerating a lot of stuff based on lies, in my opinion. So she's firstly saying, right, Johnny Depp is essayed and DV'd me. And then she's thinking, okay, what story can I make up, in my opinion, to make it believable? Thing is, though, unless you've been through that, you're never going to be able to say a believable story, right? So she, I think, in my opinion, again, so we don't get sued, is overcompensating, and she's over-exaggerating. Like, ugly, she's over-exaggerating. It just... Why a bottle? It defies... Why? And she said
because she found a picture of one. I literally think it's because they found a picture of one. It came up recently. Ben, one of the guys, the witnesses, whatever, there was an old picture that then brought the memories back. Oh my God, that Maker's Mark bottle was the bottle, apparently. There were two. Wow. And I don't understand it. I don't believe it.
I'll tell you this, right? I will tell you this. You either, in my humble opinion, right, when it happens to you, remember absolutely everything like I do. I remember details. I remember the smell. I remember the damn poster on the wall. It was an Oasis poster of the two Gallagher brothers. And they were facing each other. They kind of had the bodies faced to each other, but then they were looking to the side like that towards the camera. And it was a blue background, and it had Oasis right at the top in white letters. I remember the walls. I remember the bed. I remember everything, right? Every single instant. I remember it. You either remember every single detail like that, or, my opinion, you black out. Your brain shuts down, and you go into that kind of survival mode where you black it out, you block it out. And you may know a sense of what may have happened, but it's more... generalized kind of description of what happened rather than specifics, right? So for me, again, I know it sounds, what is it? But to me, this bottle, it doesn't make sense, because either, right, you've blocked it out, so you don't really know what he's doing, but you just know that, generally speaking, he's S-Ager, right? Or you do know what he's doing, you know the bottle, you know the make, and you damn well know if it's freaking broken or not. Do you know? So it just doesn't dive with me, this. It really, really doesn't. I mean, look at her. I mean, you're showing it on back page now. I know that chat can't see it, but, you know, even like her whole demeanor, like she's not hunched down. She's set up straight. And it's her neck that's down, right? She's like this. For me, I'd be like this, like proper, like make myself small, because it's like protecting yourself, as you say physically, as you say in the truth as what happened to you. And look again, her head's like that.
Look at and Johnny looked for a minute, and is just like, I just cannot even believe that she's doing this, and he knows. He's like, This is just heartbreaking to watch. Look, and when you watch Johnny, just his faces of just like watching her go to the despicable left. Look at the huff he just did. Because he knows her, right? He knows what she's capable of. Yeah, and she just watching him be like, I can't believe you are doing this. I can't believe you're doing this.
She's like a stage actor. She's overdoing it for the people in the back row to see, like she's crying. You know what I mean?
Seriously, no, yeah.
Yeah, it's really bad. Like, you know, you have to overdo it, and I kind of like, I feel weird because for her to go up there, for someone to go up there and give, you know, their story of what happened, and then like, man, it was hard to watch. It was very hard to watch yesterday, and there was no like setup to the stories. Like, it was all over the place. You know, I went to a store to eat M&Ms, and then he yelled at me over here. And by the way, the sky's blue. Objection. It was like, what? I really could not even follow it yesterday. And I tried hard, and it went on and on and on. And she needs friends, man, to tell her.
She doesn't have any.
You suck.
She doesn't have any.
Get them all gone.
Yeah, it's like a friend. I said yesterday, it's kind of funny. You know, your real friends tell you when you have a booger on your nose, right? They go, hey, come over here. You have stuff in your teeth, or you have a booger in your nose. She doesn't have that. She's awful. She's posing for pictures. She's putting things in her nose, overacting. And it's just like, someone should just go, Amber, listen, you're sucking. Nothing. No one.
No, but she doesn't surround. I mean, and I imagine she doesn't like to surround herself with people who would tell her that, right? Isn't that sort of her?
It wouldn't matter. So yeah. So anybody who would tell her that is no longer her friend. But there's also there isn't help for somebody like her because her dysfunction works for her. She's attached to it. Yeah. There's no openness in a personality like hers to that kind of corrective advice. She would just turn on that person. So, yeah, there's no hope.
That makes sense. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to. She had a boyfriend way back, a Latin guy, and did the same thing to him. He was crushed, cheated on her, cheated on him. I forget his name, but I've been trying to get more into deep into that. Mm-hmm. I wish I could interview that guy. I don't know if he's allowed to or whatever, but I have someone who worked with her in that period who can attest. She was cheating on him like crazy. That's just who she is. She's also really not into guys. She's a lesbian. I've had multiple people come privately tell me this. And so she just rides whatever can take her to the higher level. Like that's what she's about. And so she's despicable from everything I've heard. I've yet to see one person, like genuine person, like stand up for her. And you'd think in a case like this, being the way the tide is turned with Me Too and Time's Up, you'd think Jason Momoa and all these castmates of her would have her back. I know someone
that stood up for her.
The what?
You know who? Zack Snyder. Why did you bring her back for the freaking...
Yeah, but I'm talking about right now. Like you'd think somebody would be like.
But Andy, that entire situation was already out in the open. These people.
Lewis, hold on. I'm saying right now, after that testimony, you would think all those people would be like, I'm so inspired by my brave friend Amber Heard. I believe you. You know, that's what happened back when Jussie Smollett came out, and people when they made people when Britney did her big thing, right? People came out in support. It's silence. There's some press, there's some things, but notice how silent it is from Hollywood of people who are not coming forward to defend Amber Heard. And that's very telling because Hollywood loves to support the victim, right? To fawn at them and praise them and be there for them. And she's got really Eve Barlow is who she's got.
They're not really going out of their way to support Johnny Depp. I mean, Bill Burr. I mean,
sure, but nobody thinks he's a victim, right? That's the problem, Lewis. But don't you agree that traditionally Amber Heard would be just fawned over in the Hollywood for this brave testimony, typically, and to hear that she's not, I think that is a good sign of the tide turning. Like they're not going to start believing this shit anymore. We're not just going to believe any woman who goes up there and cries because we've now learned some of them are horrible people, and we can tell the difference between real and fake, and she's fake. And that does give me some hope. I do have to thank a couple chats here. And Anna, I want to give you another opportunity to get out because I know you've been here longer than planned. Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay, good.
If you want me to stay.
No, please. I'm worried, but you stay as long as you like. Okay. I love having you. But I have to thank. A minute ago, there was a where'd it go? Hold on. How did it go away? Did they take it back? There was a massive chat, $100 chat that I saw that I was like, whoa. And then it's not there. I'm going back. Sorry, there's a lot, but I thank you, whoever that was. Oh, here it was. Maria. That was the older one. I guess it died. Maria, thank you again. And then there's been two big 50s. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget as we get deeper and deeper into this. Hold on. Sorry, bear with me. Thank you for the generosity, everybody. One came in from Lisa JD. My condolences to everyone who was sharing their stories. You were so strong. If Amber would have sustained as much physical contact as she claims, she would have been in the hospital as well and probably put into a coma to recover from the injuries. Facts. And the fact that she didn't is very telling. Jocelyn Jensen, thank you as well for that big dollar donation. If you are a DVSA hurt by the horrible lies Amber told yesterday, as I am, we hurt for Johnny, but please give your thoughts, support to Kate James. Imagine if those of us triggered, it was our story she stole to hoax the world. Justice for Kate James. Thank you for bringing that up, Jocelyn, too, because that's what's so messed up. Now, Kate never really revealed the details of her case, so we don't know if this is it, and I hope she comes forward if it is, so we can really hear out the despicable lengths. But previously, Amber was taking elements of her story to make her own, and many are speculating, is she doing it again right now? That seems so weird that she would go that far. But either way, yes, the fact that she took Kate's story and then tried to just shrug her off as, I love how she's like, oh, she was a horrible person. She would do all these awful things. Then why'd you keep her employed, you idiot? Fire her and get a new assistant. It's very easy. Oh, you were required to keep this terrible person who was, doing horrible things to you? But such bullshit. You were yelling at her, you hated her, and she clearly didn't like it, and she came clean. It was very credible. And for you to suddenly play like you had no say in her employment is just laughable to me. Anne, right? I mean, am I crazy? Again, her personality for just switching and trying to be like, oh, she was a horrible employee. Yeah, well, I fire horrible employees. I don't keep them around for as long as they've been.
Yeah, and look at exactly what she attacked Kate about. She said she drank on the job.
Yep.
This is Amber's thing, right? Attack the other person over their supposed substance use, right? So she said Kate drank on the job, and then she also said Kate had that Amber had to correct and come to the rescue when Kate had left kids in the car with the car running and the doors open. So just like Amber, this whole thing Amber did about Johnny's kids, and she's the rescuer. She loves these kids. That's why she was actually, one of the reasons she stayed with Johnny was to protect these kids. That's got to be killing his kids because they don't even like her.
No,
and
I can't
I'm sure
even imagine.
that they hate what she has done to their father. And she continuously wants to present herself as the heroine.
There you go, as this has became chaos. If you want to see the chaos, I don't know if I trimmed any of this chaos, but if you do, make sure you become a member. Thanks to all the Popcorn Planeteers. Pick a tier, hit the join. You can always watch our full streams. I don't just edit it to edit it. I edit it because I want the streams to be discoverable, and sometimes, admit it, if you're scrolling, you don't always click on a 4-hour stream. So that's the point. If you really are invested and you're a Planeteer, you watch it in the members-only playlist, and you join us. And here we got all these amazing supporters. Oh my God, that's so cool. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching in the chat and all your support today. We'll be back next week. I know the trial's not here. Guys, the trial's not on next week. I know. But guess what? We will be probably around 1 p.m. Eastern during the days. So we'll be a little earlier. So come join us. We'll be hanging with you, talking about this, updates, as well as other news. And maybe we take a break next week, learn some other news, as well as other things. So stay tuned with us here on Popcorn Planet. Steph the Alter Nerd, thank you so much. Lewis, Lecca, and Silvers, and everybody else who called in today. You guys are incredible. You inspire me. Thank you so much for helping this community thrive. You guys are the best. Enjoy your weekends, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. 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 Bye, Steph.